was somebody who really gave 110% to the band. He really was very devoted to the band. And honestly, more devoted to the fans than to the band. He appreciated everybody who put him in the position he was in. So Eric was on his first tour, and we were having a lot of fun with him because he was so green. You know, we needed somebody to lovingly, and you know, we would be in Europe, and he would ask us how you say, can I have some butter, you know, in French, and we would make up words, and he would ask the waitress, you know, and she'd look at him. Another time, and he had this thing, he would kind of go, schmuck, you know, after you would do stuff. And we were in one place, and they were giving us these hot plates of food, and they said, hot plate, and just instinctively, you just hear, and his eyes just close, and schmuck. And this went on all the time. I mean, God love him. This guy would, when we were in Europe with Bon Jovi was actually our opening act on that tour, and Eric came down to the bar, and I said, "Where have you been?" He says, "Oh, I was upstairs with this journalist." And I said, "Oh, cool." And he goes, "Yeah, she asked me to take off my clothes, and she would take pictures of me in the tub, but she wouldn't show anybody." And what? He goes, "Oh, yeah." So there literally, it turned up in Sounds or New Music Express, one of those papers, Eric in a bubble bath, naked. I mean, it's just, so, anyway, so back to the story that we were just talking about, Andy was talking about. So we're in a disco in Paris, and Eric goes, "There's a guy over there who's hitting on me." I mean, so what? So he goes, you know, and he just keeps looking at me. So Ace, being brilliant, says, "Let's make out, so he'll think you're with me." And that's a true story. What are you guys doing? Great solution. Let's make out.
They're all over the place. They're all over. Okay. Did you really tell your mom if she wanted to see a picture of your new girlfriend to go buy Penthouse magazine?
Yes.
Okay. The same woman you bought a washer and dryer for.
You know.
Explain that one.
There was a price of admission to this club for my mom, you know. And honestly, you know, my parents were exposed, no pun intended, to a whole different life, and I enjoyed, in some ways I enjoyed kind of pushing it in their faces, you know, that I wasn't like them and that my life was very different. I remember one time I was talking to my mom and I was describing, I was trying to remind her of somebody I was seeing. I said, you know, she's blonde and tall and has big boobs. She goes, "All your girlfriends are blonde and tall and have big boobs." But yes, she said, "Are you seeing anybody special?" I said, "Pick up this month's Penthouse."
So, Evan's born. I know we're moving forward. Evan's born, and you talk about what the role cooking became. That you guys would cook together as a family, and it became this thing, and you had some recipes that you kind of, your go-tos. And
I was frightened. All of a sudden, I'm a single dad, and I've got to cook 3 meals a day, and I've got to get my son to school, and I have to do homework, and I had to make puppets, all kinds of stuff that I never did before in my life. So it was really boot camp for me. And it was really important for him to eat well, so I started cooking, and he turned out pretty well. He's taller than I am. He's taller, better looking, smarter, you know, so, you know, he and I are, I don't know where he is, maybe he's back there. He's a good one. He's my idol.
So, how did you get a 6-year-old to eat Brussels sprouts? That's what I want to know.
A gun? A clown suit? I don't know. You know, you make them great, and there's a recipe. You don't have to buy the book just for the recipe, but I do Brussels sprouts with like cherries and Parmesan cheese and balsamic vinegar and all kinds of stuff, and they're awesome. They're awesome. Even people who hate Brussels sprouts, if you still hate them, take the Brussels sprouts out and eat the rest of it.
The chef read the book, and he's made an attempt to make these Brussels sprouts. Please welcome Chef Colin. Now, all we have is what we have in the book, so there's a lot unsaid. But thought maybe you'd try one. Constructive piece.
I'll take them. Awesome.
Just so you guys know, the chef, those are going to be on the Garden Cafe for dinner tonight. So, two more questions for you. One is, you're out in public, you're walking around, someone sees you, they're a fan, they want to express it. Can you share ways where you really feel you really enjoy being engaged by guests? A good way for a fan to engage you in public.
It used to be naked. Them days are over.
That's
You know, look, I mean, everybody knows what's rude and what's proper and what's not, you know. When somebody comes over to me at dinner and goes, I know I'm interrupting you, I go, wait, you just said I know I'm interrupting you, so why are you interrupting me? You know, if I'm happy to spend time with anybody at the appropriate time, let me finish my food, and I'm happy to spend time. People come over to me in the market or wherever I am. I never understand when people have issues with that, because you know, I'm always surprised when somebody comes out of a restaurant and gets pissed off that people are taking photos. Well, if those people weren't taking photos, you couldn't afford to eat there. So, you know, let's be thankful for the people who make us what we are and acknowledge them. So, I mean, that's what KISS has always been about. What we were. I mean, I remember sitting in the audience at the Fillmore East, which was in New York. And at the Fillmore, for $3, $3, $4, or $5, you see 3 amazing bands. And I saw Jimi Hendrix Experience a couple of times, Zeppelin, Derek and the Dominoes, Humble Pie. You know, everybody would play there. But the thing we wanted to be was the band we never saw. Outside of those exceptions, most bands either looked good and sounded horrible, or sounded great and looked horrible, or just came out on stage with total disrespect for the audience. You know, when you got somebody on stage who thinks they're doing you a favor by showing up, don't go see them again. You know, I want you to know that every time I step up on stage, I'm thrilled and thankful that anybody is there to see it. And I hope I live up to what you expect.
I just had one more question. This is probably my favorite part of the book, when Evan was born. And you had a quote in here that I think it sounds like it hit home for you, but definitely for any dad. I have a couple of kids. So it said, up until that day, life never made much sense to me. You showed up on Earth, you spent a little time here, and you died. But as soon as I held Evan and made eye contact, I suddenly got it. We don't really die. We're here on Earth to leave the world better for our children, and through our children we live on. Are you kidding me?
You know, I don't know about people here, but life seems so weird, because you pop up on Earth, you live, and then you're gone. And it didn't make any sense to me until Evan was born. And then, you know, my subsequent children, you know, having Colin and Sarah and Emily. Really what we're here to do is to be great parents. And what we're here to do is to leave better children than we were. It's something that's been going on since time began. And when I first saw Evan, all of a sudden I went, I get it. I get it. We don't ever really leave here. We continue on through our children. So it's up to us to make sure that what we leave behind is something better than what we were. So, simple.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, Paul, I think on behalf of everyone, congrats on the book.
Thank you.
Congrats on your life, and thanks for sharing with it.
Thank you.
Mr. Stanley.